confining the territory. I'm telling you, it is a higher mindfulness practice. Move the mind on the left arm and the space all around the left arm. 2 points. Sensation in the left arm. It's your arm. It's your mind. You feel the sensation and you become aware of the space all around the left arm. I told you it is a knowledge practice. When we say mindfulness is effortless, natural, why? It is a knowledge practice. Look at the chest and the belly and the space all around the chest and the belly. Right leg and the space all around the right leg. So how do you feel the right leg? You feel the sensation. Mind earmarks the shape and the form of the right leg, and then it becomes aware of the space. I'm in Lara's studio. How that knowledge comes, I become aware subconsciously of the shape, the length, the walls. Yes, I'm there. That is what I'm saying. 90% is knowledge. The mind goes to the left leg, feel the sensation and the space all around. Do you remember the goal? We have to move the mind within, from outside to inside, and then ask the mind to live within to discover our true nature. Good. Entire body. You feel the sensation of the entire body and the space all around the body. Do you need to think anything? No? No thought? Do you have any confusion? No. The space is already there all around the body. And when I say all around the body, you know the body by default. First step is done. Now what is second step? I renamed it to make people understand. It is pratyahara. What is pratyahara? My sense organs are moving to their respective object and you withdraw from there. You know, sometimes we are totally absorbed in looking at a thing and the friend stares at it and, oh, what are you doing? And we return to our senses. You see that? Mind was totally absorbed. Where? In something outside. Can we live outside? That is the second step. How? Look at the head and the neck and the space all around. Through your awareness, you leave the space and be there on the head and the neck. When you're there on the head and the neck, you experience the sensation, relaxation and the stillness. Right arm in the space all around. Right arm in the space all around. And leave the space all around the right arm. You will experience sensation and the stillness. Now I added relaxation in between, and that gives you a variety of the feeling, variety of the feeling. Tingling and the numbness, and okay, move the mind on the left leg, left arm in the space all around. When you are sure that you are experiencing the space all around the left arm, leave the space. What is left? What is left? sensation in the stillness. Another example, the moment you enter into the studio, you leave all the other office space, didn't you? And what did you do to leave the entire space? Nothing. That is why I say it's a knowledge practice. The mind and the chest and the belly and the space all around. Same thing. Leave the space. So you experience sensation in the stillness, in the chest, in the belly, right leg. First says no movement. You are not moving. When I say move your mind on the right leg, you don't move the right leg to the mind. You see, it all demands an awareness, nothing else. How can you move your right leg to the mind? So anyhow, the right leg in the space all around, it's a knowledge practice. You need to maintain your awareness. Leave the space. So what happens? Sensation and the stillness. Left leg and the space. Leave the space. Leave the space consciously. Oh, where is Lara's studio? It's number, for example, 120. And you are at 122. So once you reach to 120, all the efforts are gone. The space is gone. Same thing I'm saying. Look at the entire body. And the space all around. Leave the space. The mind is totally absorbed into the name and the form and the shape of the body with an experience of sensation in the stillness. Third step, inner journey. So when you reached at the door of the studio, opening, then only you move inside. That is our third step. You don't know what is inside, but you know the door, how to open that door. And you see that in the third step. Again, this is a knowledge practice. Look at the head and the neck. Now you separate outside and inside. What is outside the head and the neck? Experience space, sensation, and stillness. And then look inside. Just be there. When you are there inside, my friends, because the sense organ cannot go inside, the mind looking inside becomes aware of the space and the sensation. What it means? When you experience consciously any sensation inside the head and the neck, it is the state of calmness. And if you experience the space within or a blankness, it is the state of quietness. And that gives us a conscious awareness that the mind is living within. Let us see, move the mind on the right arm, outside, space, sensation, stillness. Look inside the right arm, be there. Space and the sensation, calmness and the quietness. Look at the left arm outside. Now, outside and inside. So the mind has to be made very clear. Outside the space, then you feel the sensation, then you experience the stillness in the left arm, and then look inside. When you look inside, there is again a space in the sensation. The very experience of the sensation is the state of the calmness, and the very experience of the space or emptiness is the state of quietness. Take it that way. In order to progress into the Shanti meditation, chest and the belly, outside, space, sensation in the stillness, inside, calmness and quietness. Or Simply become aware of the space and the sensation. So if your mind is not pure, it will bring in the past thoughts, the future comparison, and the present. Sometimes it fall into unconscious sleep. It is okay. Don't worry about it. Don't try to hold on anything. Move the mind on the right leg. Outside, space, sensation, and the stillness. And inside, calmness and quietness. Are the space and the sensation? Both are okay. Move the mind on the left leg. Outside, space and the sensation. Now I'm giving a simile. Understand that never happens. Why it doesn't happen? Because I don't follow 90% of the knowledge and understanding. We have the entire office place here. There may be 20 offices. That we all know it. But when you are inside the Lara studio, are you concerned about any of the other office space? No. That is what happens. The mind is on the left leg. Outside, space, sensation, and the stillness outside. Done. And inside, calmness and quietness. That is what happens. I can give you hundreds of similes and the metaphors to make you understand. What is this practice? 90% it is knowledge practice. Look at the entire body outside. So when you look at the studio outside, you may become aware of the entire office complex. But we have confined that to a space, sensation, and stillness. How? By knowledge. And then look inside the body. Feel the sensation as a state of calmness and the space as a state of quietness. Are you not aware, or don't you have a sense that this studio is an office complex? Yes. So we should be aware of what is happening outside. That doesn't make any difference. But one more addition. We consciously know that we are living with it. That is more important. Otherwise, what will happen? You will continue to complain, oh no, I have a lot of thoughts, from the past, what should I do? As if you're asking that you are in the studio, what should I do with the rest of the office complex? How should I control that? How should I throw it out? No, that is not the case. I trust you understand that. So when the mind starts living within, in the state of sensation and the stillness in the body. The fourth step is looking at the breath. The breath is going in and out. You're feeling the sensation of the breath. There is no change in the rate and the rhythm of the breath. So the fourth step is known as Pratyak Chetana. What is Pratyak Chetana? That you discover the tendency of the mind to live within. When that comes by regular practice, I told you, 100% passion, it will happen today. 50%, maybe 3 to 6 months. 25%, maybe a couple of years. Below than that, nothing will happen. Even if you practice meditation for 20 years, because that sense of understanding is not there. So just check it. You are looking at the breath The mind is totally absorbed in looking at the breath. It does not invite any other thought. Mind is feeling the breath. It says, okay, I'll continue to feel. It doesn't change the rate and the rhythm of the breath. Oh, yes, I will do it. And the mind is totally absorbed. Inward moving tendency of the mind is the fourth step. Patanjali says Pratyak Chetana. There is a Parang Chetana, outward moving mind. There is Pratyak Chetana, inward moving mind. Why inward moving mind? We are discovering our true nature, where it is located, deep inside us. You become a perfect seeker in the fourth step. In the state of space, sensation, in the stillness outside, looking, experiencing the space and the sensation inside. You are looking at the breath going in and out, feeling the sensation of the breath, and there is no change. You need not to worry about snoring and noise of any van. Why? They are outside. They are too far from you. We discussed that how it is too far yesterday. When the mind is deep within, our experience that everything outside is too far. And I'll keep the fifth step as it is. When the breath goes in, let the mind merge into the space inside. When the breath returns, let the mind merge into the space outside. Space outside. So we raise awareness of the space when the breath comes outside, in the outer space, when the breath goes in the inner space. I'll talk about space. That's a very quite interesting. I'll briefly cover that. Be there. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. It simply means let there be peace, peace and peace. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. Let everyone be happy. Sarve santu niramaya. Let everyone be healthy. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Let everyone be blessed. Ma kaschid dukha bhag bhave. Let none suffer from misery in this world. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, your awareness on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your closed eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Find out, know your experiences, what your mind tells you, and bring the hands down. Sit up. Are you learning?
Good.
Good. Eric?
I don't think I snored. I didn't think I was sleeping.
What are you saying?
That he didn't think he snored, but I think I heard him snoring.
Yeah. But why you focus on snoring? I did
Doesn't
not
matter.
speak about this. I only speak about the
That's why
steps
I
of.
didn't think I snored because I wasn't focusing on it.
You remain totally focused on what I said?
I don't remember what you said. But ask her about Winnie the Pooh.
How are you? This?
Good.
Good? I can see. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I don't know how people go to fall asleep though. See, that's what I can't do. I can't just.
You were sleeping.
Was I sleeping?
Yeah.
You're snoring with me.
You were sleeping. Now see the wrong notion, what the wrong notion says, your mind says. No, I have to struggle.
I can't sleep like that.
You were sleeping.
Well, it was 3 snores then. I didn't hear the third one because I was
And
sleeping.
then there's 3 people that don't admit it.
How are you, Jared? Good? David? Good. Jason?
Good.
You were also snoring.
Yeah.
Huh?
No intrusive thoughts this time.
Intuitive thoughts?
Not this time.
Not this time.
Earlier.
But earlier, but you were totally relaxed. Yeah, you see that? You see, we did it for almost 32 minutes of this practice. So one thing is clear that any practice that should be more or less 30 minutes and more than 30 minutes, that will help settle your mind. Just I'm citing an example, nothing good, nothing high, nothing low. It all depends on individual temperament and challenges in the mind. For Lois, it may be 10 or 15 minutes. He can, yesterday we saw it, that you went deeper. Just to compare, so it's nothing high and low. So your mind takes a little longer period to settle down. And then settle down, and then what happens? Possibly because of the wrong notions moving in the mind, but the mind moving within, it drops the wrong notion and it knows only one thing, how to drop that wrong notion, to fall into sleep. So let it happen. So when it happens continuously for a couple of weeks, then that sleep will be broken. And then what will happen? You are already managing so-called your, what did you say? What is your problem? PTSD.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of stuff.
That is how you are able to manage it. So it goes through the different stages. Yeah, we will take up one. I remember ka, sukha. Are you aware of dukkha? Buddha says dukkha is pain, pain and pain. Huh? Sukha, dukkha. Dukkham, dukkham, dukkham. The entire world is suffering, suffering, suffering. So whose mind thinks like this has PTSD. So change your thinking.
I don't have PTSD.
I like it. That's a very positive state of counseling.
Who is I?
I love you. That's really good. Dukkham, dukkham, dukkham. Can you experience what exactly is happiness? Can I define it? Can I have a sense of it? No, we simply say when there is nothing, there is no PTSD, there is no anxiety, we say it is happiness. So now understand, always remember this and do the practice. So, dukkha means suffering and sukha means happiness. In Sanskrit and also in Pali. Kha. So, prefix is different, suffix is same. Dukkha, sukha. So I told you the Sanskrit language where the sound and the symbol goes together, not like English. Sound and symbol, P-U-T, B-U-T. It sounds different. But ka means space, infinite space. When that space is realized with thoughts, feelings, sensation, people, it is dukkha. When there is only a space, mind realizes, only space, infinite space, you can never have any stress in the suffering. Forget about PTSD is too far. What did I say? Now reverse this. Apply this knowledge. Apply this. How to apply this knowledge? Anytime you have anxiety, stress or duality or conflict, what the mind should do? Imagine, feel, think of the infinite space. Whether with eyes closed or open, just look. Take your mind to the space higher and higher, above the clouds, into the sky, into the galaxy, and see what happens. Sukha, David, Ka. Ka is a space. So when you say dukkha, du means bad. Always full of lot of stuff. When your room is full of all the stuff unorganized, how do you feel that? What about the mind? So deep inside, my friend, your mind is constantly singing, I have PTSD, I have PTSD. Remove that. Wrong thinking. So I'll take up two more verses before we So the first verse, are you clear? The mind are of two types, pure and impure. Huh? With reference to the self. Huh? Don't tell your psychotherapist or a mental health counselor. They will say, are you crazy? They don't know they are crazy. They will do, sorry. No, because the reference point is the different. What is the pure and impure? Reference point is the self and the non-self. So when there is a mind is impure, it picks up the non-self as a self. And that causes the problem. So when the mind is pure, it takes the self as a self, and the self is always full of peace and happiness. We have a valid point of our argument. So now see that, now in the second verse it says that the mind is the cause of bondage and mind is the cause of freedom. When the mind is the cause of bondage, when it lives in ignorance, when it identifies with the non-self, when it has the impurities of desire and the projection we have already done. Now see that mind does not know anything, it is not aware. No, you are not aware. Let me rephrase it. You are not aware, the mind is looking for happiness or projecting happiness in the things outside. Right? You are not conscious, you are not aware of it. But the mind is doing its own work. Right? What will happen to the mind? Can I give you an example? Simple example. You are driving a car. Which car you are driving? Eric?
In my fantasy example?
Yeah. You got it. That's what I wanted to tell you. You are already there. In fantasy means the mind is already projecting that happiness. Yes. I need not to explain. In reality, you have a different car. Fantasy, you have different. Then we have labeled it as fantasy. So what about car? There can be anything. Any person. I'm not going there. You can express it. Don't look at Lara.
I'm happy with that.
So again I'm saying, remember this. This will be very important. I am not aware how my mind is moving out and projecting happiness not only in one thing, but in hundred of things, of people, places, object. When I'm driving, I look at the car of fantasy. One thing, right? Now you are on a red light and you look at, oh, that handsome guy, no? Good, like me. Oh, beautiful girl, No, I'm not going there, but the mind continues to move like this. What is this? This is a wavering mind. This is what we say, unfocused, distracted mind. So what caused the distraction? Now ask the question, what causes the distraction? My desire, which is seeking others and projecting happiness. That is why the mind is distracted. How can the mind will distract? When you are already discovered that happiness within. So there is a huge space where you have millions of desires. and the mind is moving into that. That is the third. That is why the mind is distracted. Otherwise, why the mind should distract? Let the tiger come in front of you and distract your mind. Because of the extreme fear, you cannot distract your mind. Your focus will be how to get rid of it. Right? You are obsessed with an object for pleasure. Your mind is not distracted until you have that object. So that is why it says mind is the cause of bondage. What is bondage? Suffering. What the suffering does? It causes pain, affliction, anxiety, stress, reaction, fight, anger, long list. To refer all the problems, when I was doing masters in psychology, so I had a book, 1500 pages. The title was Abnormal Cycles. More than 5,000 illnesses. Abnormal cycle. 5,000. And when you read every page after completing the book, your mind says at least you are suffering from 10. No, I'm not criticizing, but that is, you start comparing your mind. And if you read this, oh, yes, I'm in peace. Yes, here is this peace. I felt it. Yesterday I was there. This is the beauty of the Eastern West, my friend. There is only peace. There is no PTSD. So you see the second, the mind is the cause of the bondage, mind is the cause of freedom. Right? Right, so I will take the third and the fourth verse tomorrow, but I have to yet to talk about something very interesting to work on it. 5 minutes of practice, minimum 5 to 10 times before, if we happen to meet tomorrow. Only 5 minutes. Topic is mind is working on you or you are working on the mind. Pain. Is mind working on me or I am working on the mind? I am working on the mind or mind is working on me? And I changed it after 5 minutes. Tell me, mind is working on me and I am working on the mind.
Mind is working on you.
Mind is working on me. That is the cause of my suffering. Mind says, for example, the mind says, I hate you. So mind becomes I and it says, I hate you. So mind is working on me or I am working on the mind. When I am working on the mind, what to do with the hate and love? Why? Mind, are you crazy? Stop this nonsense. Look at it. What I will get? What is the fun? Ask yourself, what is the fun of having a fantasy car? Mind is working on you or you are working on the mind? Ask yourself. Mind is carried away by the desires and the projection of the happiness. When your mind is working on you, then only you have PTSD. When you are working on the mind, how dare the PTSD can enter into? How dare? When the mind is working on you, then only you have regrets. Then only still the burglar can come at any time. Then only you have the worries about the future. Just see, change that pattern. Instantly become aware and alert. How? We become aware and alert while driving. Oh, that crazy guy, don't let me do it. Don't we do that? You don't do that?
I don't get crazy people.
You do sometimes.
Not like you.
You and you. You and now the reference point is mind is working on me or I am working on the mind. Is one of many subject matters of breath mindfulness. Even if I'm not smart, keep looking at me. Keep looking at me. Now your eyes are looking at me, let the mind look at your breath. Is it possible? Yes. Yeah. Keep looking at the breath. Who looks at the breath? Mind. One part of the mind coming through the eyes looking at me. There is two-pointed approach. That we will talk tomorrow, but I'm giving the practice. So anytime, anywhere, you keep looking at me and keep your mind on the breath. Keep looking at me and keep your mind on the breath. You need not to be serious. You can keep a smile on the face also. I need not to tell. Just do it. So what will happen when you consciously allow the mind to perform two activities at the same time with awareness? You know what it means by you can work on the mind. Not the mind can work on you. So now when you are looking at the breath, are you feeling your breath? Feeling the breath? Mm-hmm. Are you feeling my breath or your breath?
My breath.
Oh, that's good. No, I have to be sure about it. No, one person in KC studio told, no, I feel your breath. Oh, I said, okay, you're great. Are you looking at me? Yes. Are you feeling the breath that is going in and out? Now when you sustain that, you will know, you will discover how to work on the mind. How to work on the mind. So think and contemplate before we will meet tomorrow what it means by working on the mind, working on the mind, and what it means the mind is working on me. Just for 5 minutes, become aware. No, I'll not sleep. Let me wait. Don't tell anyone in the house, otherwise, you're watching the TV, yes. Keep watching. Bring your awareness on the breath. Bring your awareness on the breath. So when the mind is working on you, what will happen? The mind will take you to the journey of the past. Are you getting it? It will take you to the journey of the past. Whether it is a pleasure or a pain, or a duality or a conflict, anything. Mind by default will choose anything. Huh? So you allow the mind to choose that, you will suffer. My master used to say that there is a difference between a child holding the hand of a dad or the dad is holding the hand of a child. It appears same. Outside it appears same. The walking is the same. So when you work on the mind, the existence holds you in your lap. You have no fear. The fear always is in the mind. Problem is always in the mind. The suffering is always in the mind. That is the message of the another verse. Are you getting it? Eric, am I right? You have to approve it, then only everything will be right. 50-50?
I can boil it into simpler terms. It's mind over matter.
Mind over matter. And what is mind? Mind is not matter?
You just control your mind. You're controlling it. You control your emotions. You control your thoughts.
Yeah,
You control
yeah,
your
yeah.
desires.
Yeah, so that control has led to many misunderstandings. Is it suppression? Is it repression? Is it reaction? We have to kill our desires or not? So when we say that we have to work on the mind, let the mind work, we check the mind where it is going, we understand, is it projecting happiness? Say for example, is it projecting happiness going to the restroom? No. It's not a desire. Let me go, finish. So there what happens, you separate need from the desire. So when you start controlling, the other stuff enters into your mind. So here we are working on the mind. So what our master says, the existence takes care of you. Nobody knew me about 13 years ago. It was a tough decision. I was thrown by the destiny in this country. I would say it was destiny. I never planned, I never organized to be here. But if you continue to work on the mind, that very existence, that is what I say, the self reveals itself and it helps you. At least one thing is sure, it may not help you to earn $1 million, it always helps you to live in peace and happiness. That's totally a different matter. That's totally different issue. It helps you to live in inner calm and peace and happiness, love and the best. So 5 minutes, either with eyes open. When eyes open, pick up any object. Are you watching TV? Yes, it's okay. Go ahead. Are you in front of your computer? It's okay. But the second part of the mind should return to the breath. So what will happen? The first focus on the object will tell you if the mind is taking over you or not. You will recognize. Two-pointed approach. Two-pronged approach. Two-pronged approach. It happens by default. Lane driving. Oh, no. Oh, this wheel has turned there. Two-pronged approach, you see that? It happens by default. Habitually we are doing it. But when you do it consciously, it changes your mind. Then mind doesn't become the master. When the mind is not master, should I say it again? No PTSD.
The mind is not master, no PTSD.
If the mind is the master, there is problem. You become the master of the mind, but master of the mind does not mean suppression, repression, control. No. Can you think of it? That I will take up tomorrow. What exactly means taking over the mind. Just to give the last reference, Eric, in our Eastern wisdom, we say mind is a very subtle matter, the subtlest matter of all. If I say the mind borrows the consciousness from the self and then it becomes alive. See, from the standpoint of two waves, David, pay attention, two waves in an ocean. One wave is different from the second wave. The first wave has a different shape and the size than the other wave. So is when our consciousness, when the mind borrows the consciousness, when the mind becomes the body, then we say, Eric is different from me. I'm more intelligent than. And then David says something, then you say something. We always have differences. Right? Right? Now when you live with the standpoint of an ocean, what happens? Everything changes in your life. When you live from the standpoint of view of an ocean, that I'm an ocean, not a wave, then what happens? From deeper inside you see, all waves are the same. What is the difference? You may have a real car or a fantasy car. What difference it makes? Then the third point. Can ocean exist without water? Or water without an ocean? Which one is true? First water or first ocean?
Water.
I would say
First water. That water is the self. Water makes an ocean makes a wave. So the first point of view, if I am the wave, I will continue to have problem. When I am an ocean, instantly I see everyone, same stuff. But when I am water, I realize my true nature. That is the state of meditation. Can there be wave without water? So water is an essence. Can there be an ocean without water? So water is an essence. But we always talk about, let us go to the beach. Eric.
It's not just the water.
It is
It's
just
the sand.
It is?
It's the sunset. It's the sand. It's the rocks. It's the wind. It's the birds. It's the fish.
And these are at the outer level. The wave is at the outer level. The waves rises and falls. Wave may exist or may not.
I didn't choose a wave, did I?
And its existence is very short-lived. Ocean existence is also short-lived. The water cannot be changed. So what cannot be changed is the true self, and the discovery of that true self is the success in meditation. Discovery of that true self. Now it is the same self expressing through the mind, expressing through this body. Body may live today or may not. Sunset may be. You cannot have sunset early in the morning or in the midnight. But consciousness that self still exists, that I can see the sunset, that I can see the ocean, that I still is present. And that I is the self, and discovery of that I is nothing but meditation, which cannot be changed. That is eternal. That is everlasting. Sense organ borrows the consciousness from the mind to see you. The mind borrows the consciousness from inside to think about you. The intellect borrows the consciousness from inside to know about you. Consciousness never borrows anything from anyone. Independent existence. Independent. Water is same everywhere. That is one simile. Water is same everywhere. Water is the essence that makes an ocean, that makes a flood in the river, that makes a tsunami, that makes a wave, but water is the essence. And discovery of that water or that self is you succeed in meditation. That is all. Thank you very much for tolerating me for today. We'll do it tomorrow. Good?
Thank you.
Yeah. Done? Closed?
Closed.
Okay.
You good?
I still see myself.
Oh, I know, but it stopped. It stopped.
He has it, is that?
No, the camera ran out of
Okay.
space because there's a long. I forgot there's one video on it. Didn't get deleted. So. Yeah.
Getting something deeper?
Just a question.
Yeah.
How in the course of a normal 24-hour day, with all of the distractions that contains, do we find time, place, and peace to meditate like this, to practice it?
That's why I started saying that do the practice for 5 minutes, at least 5 or 6 or 10 times today and tomorrow before we meet. When you work on the mind, that self works on the mind, the self is the in charge and the boss. Naturally you are into that state. But when the mind works on you, mind doesn't spare even a single opportunity to distract you. Sometimes it brings everything from the past, sometimes it puts it into the future, sometimes it looks at the shape and the colors and the reaction continues. The mind continues its journey when the mind is the master. So simple answer, we have to learn and educate the mind so that we start working on the mind. Do you work on the car or car works on you?
Both.
Eric, don't say.
That one's both.